Hello everybody, welcome back. You can see we got the disc hooked up behind us. We're gonna go disc down most of the hay ground. We still haven't gotten across that 6 acres of alfalfa to do a burn down yet. We're gonna check that this afternoon and see if that can go. It's kind of gonna throw a wrench in everything, but we're gonna make it work hopefully. So weather forecast looks really good for this week. Most likely there will be beans in the ground by the end of the week, and we'll see how that goes. But today we are disking. We're just disking. We're not even pulling the crumbler behind us. We're running a nice deep pass, getting everything opened up, and then we will turn right around tomorrow and come back in with the crumbler, and then we'll do a nice work down for a seed bed. Only work the top inch or two, and really make it look nice and pretty. We just worked up that 5 acres over there. Now we got this 6 acres here. This is what the burn down job looks like. So everything's dying off nicely. Turning yellow, dying, so that's good. It'll be another 3 or 4 days and it'll probably be completely dead, but we're gonna turn it under now and it'll continue dying underground. That field had a few sticky spots in it yet. I'm completely expecting this one to be the same way. We will see. So, not a lot of spare hands for filming, so I'm either flicking my hydraulics up and down to get through some mud or turning the steering wheel or anything like that. So the ride didn't come through as good on these back 2 fields, but it's probably not a bad thing since they're going to hay. We're not running any auto steer today because that's all in the sprayer and everything's set up for the sprayer at the moment, so that'll be in the coming weeks. When we start planting corn, we'll have the auto steer in here, but probably doesn't look like we're going very fast on the camera. I keep slipping, like there, that was a wet spot. But I think it has more to do with I'm just maximum teetering on the brink of what this tractor can pull. Obviously the disc, it's not like the ripper where you're pulling your back wheels down to get better traction. You're not, and this tractor's not very heavy. So I think we're just spinning out before we reach our power maximum. Need more weight, or I need an 8,000 series steer. It's only 8:45 and we've got those 2 fields done. This field is another 5 acre field. So this field and that field are gonna be farmed as cash crops still. This one's going to soybeans and so is that one. This one was a half drilled rye and half broadcast rye. And then that one was all broadcast. You can see we got a really good take on that, which I also accidentally broadcast like 75, 80 pounds to the acre of rye on most of it. Back here I've got my rate tamed a little bit more. It's still a little heavier. You can see the drill stops there. And then this is all broadcast and rolling harrowed. It's not bad there. That's a decent rate. But I'd like to back it down a little bit more off of that. So what I basically did, I bought a 3-point spreader. Personally, it's my own machine. Because I wanted to do a test run. And what I did was I put the spreader on and I hooked the rolling harrow on at the same time. And so I spread and rolled with the crumbler all in one pass. Basically simulating if I had an air seeder on that rolling harrow, which is what I'd like to get, I think, eventually. Either put a air seeder on that or get a VT, like a Turbo Max or an accelerator, and put an air seeder on that. I think that would be the best way to go. You'll get better, not necessarily with the rolling harrow, but with the VT, you'll get better residue management than with a no-till drill. And then you'll also be able to seed the cover crop at the same time. You'll be able to cover a lot more acres a lot faster with the turbo till than with a drill. That whole tractor not being light doesn't apply in this field. This field's literally just too wet. I'm just trying to get back to the front. And we're gonna fold up and get out of this one. This one is probably gonna end up being a summer seeding. If it cannot get its primary done today, then it is probably not gonna be dry enough before we need to put beans in. I do not understand this field. This field is ridiculous because last year we planted the beans in this field on June 6th because it just would not dry out. We came in here, opened it up with the disc. Probably wasn't a lot better than it is today, and in June, and fit it down and got it dry enough to get the planter across it, and grew 40 bushel beans. So I don't get it. I don't understand why this field doesn't dry out, but hopefully we get a good hay stand in here and we don't got to worry about it anymore. You guys will see more of this thing later on tonight. We're going to set this up. This is a 3-inch Vevor pump. Runs at like 210 gallons per minute or something like that. Absolutely crazy. I don't need something like that for loading the sprayer, that's for sure. I don't have enough time as it is to get all my ingredients in. But this is strictly for irrigation purposes, or not irrigation, for drainage purposes. And what we bought it for, me and Dad were scouting that 6 acres that's going to hay that's too wet still. We haven't even gotten sprayed yet. And we were looking in the drainage ditch, because the drainage ditch is so full, we think it's backing up the water table in the field. So we bought this. We used to use our manure agitator pump and go out there and sink it into the ditch and pump it out. We don't have that anymore. So we bought this 3-inch pump. We're gonna set it out there and try and empty that drainage ditch as much as possible. We have a closed loop drainage system on that field, which stinks because the only way to drain the ditch was using the lift pump. Well, the lift pump's junk. We haven't gotten around to fixing that, and we don't really feel like it's worth fixing because the drain tile in the field that is the main reason that pump's out there for, most of the tile is broke. It's broken 5-6 places, and one of the spots that it's broke is like 300 feet off of where the pump's at. So it's like you got a lot of tile work to do if you really want to make the pump worth fixing. So what we're going to do is we're going to empty the ditch with this, and then we're also going to stick the intake down in the crock of the lift pump and try and get that what tile we can empty so that the field can drain a little bit more, and we can hopefully get in the field this week. I had some issues with a farm chem order that I placed. They wanted for like $9,500 worth of 3-inch intake hose. They wanted like $300 just to ship the dang thing, and I was like, I ain't paying that. So Dad has a hay delivery north of here, and he's gonna keep going north until he hits Perry and go to Fertilizer Dealer Supply and pick up the hoses. The farm chem messed up a fitting order, so I got to get another fitting for something else, and then he will be coming back today. Just a preliminary looking over this pump though, it is nearly, I mean, it is pretty much spot on identical to the Harbor Freight pump, or the Harbor Freight pumps that we buy for the mixing and the spray stuff. So in the future we probably will check Vevor for that stuff, because everything, I mean, the engine is identical. I don't know, I think this one has more cc's than the 2-inch ones, but you got your on off switch over here, that's the same. You got your choke, you got your fuel on and off shut off thing, and you got your throttle All of those components there are completely identical to the Harbor Freight. Your air box is the same, your exhaust is the same, your fuel tank's the same. So I'm guessing they all get their motors from the same place, and honestly, a motor is my most concerning piece of these pumps. And the Harbor Freight ones are all steel when it comes to the pump as well. The way my mixing setup is, the only thing that runs through my pump at the mixing site is water. All the mixing is done downstream of the pump, so I don't have to worry about my pump going bad or rotting out or rusting out. Well, I do got to worry about it rusting out because 28 is a carrier, a main over there, so that does go through the pump, but usually I run water right after. So that pump is fine, and I expect that pump to last a long time. Now the in-furrow pump, none of the stuff that goes in furrow is corrosive, but it is fertilizer nonetheless, and fertilizer still does a number on things even when it isn't necessarily corrosive. So that pump, which is also a Harbor Freight pump, I do expect to have a shorter lifespan, but my 2x2 pump is the main one I always worry about on the tender, because that one is getting 28, ran through it all the time. We do run water through it from time to time to flush it, but I do worry about that one, the impeller and all the metal components in it eventually rusting out. So we're about hour 3, almost hour 4 into this pumping process. What we've got is we've got a county drain on this side, or a community drain maybe. I don't know if the county owns it or not, but it snakes through a bunch of people's property and dumps in a creek farther down the road a couple miles. This is our privately owned ditch, and there's a dam here. I'm not 100% sure why. From what I could tell with water levels, it would flow fine, but I'm not sure why, if there was regulation behind it, what the process was for damming this back. This goes around, it's a big loop. This goes around though and stops at a driveway, and then this ditch starts here and goes around and meets it at the other driveway. Now there's a small, I don't know if it's meant to be connected, but there's a small connection going around that way. I don't know if it's surface runoff or what's going on there, but the pump just died. I gotta check gas. I came out here to top it off on gas, and I haven't done that yet, so it probably just ran out. Once this is down, I'll talk more about the next process tomorrow, but the main goal right now is just to get this ditch down, to get, if there's any tile outlets in it, get it down so that this field will drain behind me. That's going to hay. It's got rye in it right now. It's going to hay. We need it dried out. And then also it's going to help the field up by the farm drain, because everything up at the farm drains down this way. The farm is, you can barely see one of the barns right there. There's a road between us, a marsh, and a few other things. So yeah, we just ran out of fuel, so got to top her off. We are at about 11 o'clock. We've been pumping. This is my 3rd time coming out refilling gas. We're to the point where the little ditch that's eroded away in the dam is not flowing anymore. So from here on out, we are progressively draining this ditch. Nature is no longer doing the draining for us, so we are getting ahead of nature from here on out and getting some progress made. So at this point in time, we are probably getting close to only draining the first section of this ditch. There is surface flow running from that ditch to this ditch, or was yesterday. I'll probably walk over there and check it again today. I'm in the process of getting the excavator jump started. We're gonna track that across the road and over here and play with that a little bit. We got a big tree to push off over here, and then we'll probably do a little bit of ditch cleaning while we're out here with it and try and kind of fix some stuff up a little bit. We've got a day to kill. Hopefully we can do some field work tomorrow. We got quite a bit of rain last night. We got probably around 1/2 inch, maybe even 3/4 of an inch in spots. So we got a day to kill, so we might as well try and do some improvement while we're out of the field. This drainage system over here has not been used in so long. Ow. I don't know what that was, that hurt. There's a valve stack over there with 2 valves in it, and they are both stuck. They haven't been used enough to or they haven't been used at all in at least 15 years, maybe even 20 years. It might even predate me since it's been used. And talked to two of my uncles on it, and neither one of them really know how or what either of them do. So at this point in time, that's kind of an abandoned thing at this point, because the valves don't work. Nobody knows which way the valves needed to be anyway. So that is that. We're gonna try and pump that pump crock down, and we're kind of just crossing our fingers that hopefully the field tile is turned into that so we can drain the field tile down, but we're not banking on that at the moment. See that green field way in the distance? That's where we're going. It's gonna take a minute. This is a 55,000 pound machine, so it should do just about anything we want to do out there. Got a thumb, we'll be able to move trees. It'll be pretty easy. We'll see how it goes. Took a while to jump start it. This thing's 24 volts, so I had a truck and a jump pack on it. And yeah, it took a minute. So I'm standing on the neighbor's bridge right now. This is our 6 acres. It's going to hay. Their property line goes right through there. So this is onto the neighbors now, but this is, I don't remember if this is a county drain or not. I'll have to look it up on the thing, but as you can see, I don't think it is, because we were the ones who did the cleanup all the way down. Uncle Billy did it long time ago with a backhoe from our ditch all the way around, probably 1.5 to 2 miles of ditch line. He did all of that clean out, and the neighbors all pitched in, I think. But now I just skimmed all this right here to try and get this culvert moving a little more. You can see it moving quite a bit. The culvert itself still has some sediment in it. I'm trying to get a hold of Dad so he can bring me a shovel, but we're getting somewhere. You can see the flow a little better on this end. We've got good flow coming out of it again, so that's good. We'll get her drained down pretty good, I think. Let's see. You can't really see too well on the camera, all the floaties coming through. But hopefully we can get our stretch of this ditch completely dried up here, and that'll help down at the other end. I kind of worked my way all the way down this line. I missed a branch there, but I got anything overhead and just shoved it all into the fence row. So hopefully we'll gain a good 10-20 feet of productive ground out here. You can see where I didn't drill the rye. That's where I couldn't even get a tractor under the branches. A couple places down that way. And so hopefully we won't necessarily gain ground, but we'll gain productive ground because it's not shaded and it's not got a bunch of trees in it. A couple trees I completely ripped up that were on our side. Most of them are just right along the fence, so just take the excavator and then push it all into the tree lines. It is a very good excavator for doing that. You got plenty of weight. Eventually, along our creek, we will completely rip all of the trees out, but that is not a today thing. We got to go get that one though that's down. That massive thing. Break that up and put it somewhere. You guys remember when I said we weren't gonna go crazy with it? Well, I've kind of been going crazy with it. There's some trees that even the big excavator can't get. We gotta leave them, but this one went down in a storm and I'm picking this apart. But yeah, we're doing a little more than a little bit of tidy up. We're ripping every tree out that can come out, just because it's going faster than I thought it would. And we're just keeping it along the bank. I'm not taking up more than 5-10 feet, crushing it all down. And then because this is going to hay, we'll be able to pile it at some point when it dries out some. That's going to be wheat this fall, and so we'll have all next summer to pile on that side as well, because we are going to go back down that side if we have any time left today. And yeah, so I'm taking care of the bad blockages in the creek, ripping trees out, stacking them, and then we'll go back through, because we'll have to pin the thumb back and do a good dig of the ditch probably next summer once we pile all this and burn it. Kind of blacked out there for a minute and then woke up and all the trees were down. No, not really, I'm just kidding. I'm having a lot of fun though with an excavator. So we're gonna keep on rolling. Next summer though, when we got more time, I can probably really finesse it and get these big trees down. Because I do want 0 trees along the creek, just because they are a problem no matter what. With the drainage, farming under them gets shaded out. The trees give the raccoons a place to live, and then when the raccoons can live right next to the field, guess where they're eating? They're eating in the field, eating your corn, your soybeans. So if we can get rid of them all, then we'll have less issues and there is a return on investment. And just like that, our day turned into a project. This track is one we put a new idler on, a new tensioner. So we gotta detension this and get the track back on. It probably settled in, everything got lost some paint, and the track detentioned just enough to where I don't know what I hit. I was backing up with that tree, bunch of weight on it, and she popped. So I've had this happen with another excavator. It shouldn't be too hard to get back on, but we've got to detension it, so get a socket, and that'll squirt a bunch of grease all over, and that'll come in, and then we'll need the skid steer out here. Kind of get all the slack to this end and pull on it, get it started, and we'll slowly walk the track, and it should pop back, pump 3 or 4 grease tubes of grease back in it, and we'll be all good to go. Dad got all the York raking done, so he's gonna come back with the skid steer. You can see, scratched all the cover crop all up, which I don't mind. The sun's out, it's a beautiful day now. Hopefully we get some good drying today. We'll fit that stuff down that we dissed in the beginning of the video tomorrow and hook on the planter and go to town. I mean, hopefully we can have, if we get to where conditions are good, we can have all the beans in by Saturday, but 3 days, 3 easy days, I think. We'll see though. Obviously we still gotta dial in a fertilizer system, all that fun stuff. But I really love looking around right now and seeing just green fields everywhere because of our cover crop system. For instance, the cover crop that we're standing in now is cereal rye. This was soybean stubble going to hay. Put the rye down because I had it in the drill and figured it would be a good weed suppressant until we get to spring or even summer if we don't end up getting to this yet. We've got our corn stubble field here, which you can barely tell is corn stubble anymore. That's also got cereal rye growing in it for cover crop. That's going to soybeans, gonna get no-tilled into that. And then in the distance over there, we have our wheat stubble field that had a 12-foot species mix in that over last summer and until we plant it to corn. It's just satisfying looking out, and with a cover crop your field is green almost probably 10 months out of the year. I suppose I keep talking about this lift pump. I should show it to you because you're not going to see it in this video, otherwise that's going to be pumping the rest of the day. I'll give you guys a quick rundown of what used to be here, what's supposed to be here, what's supposed to be working here. That pipe there is the output pipe of the pump. That pipe there is a output pipe for gravity feed from the tile. And I'll show you guys what the difference is here. Now, if we walk here into this big scrub land, we will see the crock for the lift pump. Dad and me pulled this cover off yesterday. And there is our pump way down in there. That is a big pipe, big pump. We are gonna pump the water down that's in here. Now what we were hoping is this, there's another crock over there we'll get to. So, like I said, that outputs to that pipe there. Now if we walk over here, I keep getting ahead of myself on some stuff, so I'm trying to be in order. There's your control panel for the pump. This was able to be on auto or manual. You could come out here, flip switch, it would kick on, or you have it in auto and it's just pulsing on and off dirt throughout the whole season. You had a red light up there, I think it was red, to signal from the road that it was running. But then in here, there's that crock, which that has 2 valves down in it, 2 handles that you can see. Neither one of them turn. Now from what I understand is there's a main that comes to it, and then you can turn a valve and it dumps into the pump, or you turn that same valve and it dumps out of this pipe. So I guess, like right now, this water is so high, the tile would not be able to actually drain. Obviously, if this creek was in working condition, I don't think there would be much water in here. But it's supposed to either gravity feed and dump into the creek, or you use the lift pump and dump it in. Now, also, from what I understand, from what Uncle Billy says, there is a tile that comes all the way from the farmyard and dumps into that ditch, but he said it also winds and comes all the way around and somehow dumps into this, which I don't know how that would work. There is not really, there's a giant low spot over there, so I don't know how that tile would come over here without losing fall. But supposedly it's either that, or there's a valve in here and it can pull from the ditch, and the pump can pull from the ditch and dump into this ditch. I don't know which one's right. I don't know anything about any of this because none of this has worked in my lifetime. Both of those valves are seized up, so we're hoping it's right to where if we pump that down, we're pumping out of the tile. Let me preface this because last time I made a tile problem video down at Dad's house, I was reached out to by FlowX, and they helped me set up a grid tile plan for that down there. This is all planned work to be done when we have the money to buy tile equipment, and then when we have the money to put tile in. It is many years down the road. We're just trying to find a way as minimal as possible to get by with what we have. So there is the valve stack is right there. There is a hole somewhere out here. It's probably under the water somewhere. I think it's right there. No, it's not gonna be right there. Pump stack's there. There's another hole out there, so it's somewhere in here. There's a broken tile somewhere in here, but then if we walk down here farther, this is all wet. Anything that's brown hasn't been planted in many years because it's always wet when we come to plant, and it'll flood out with any amount of rain. I mean, a ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch, it always floods. So then here is the big hole, and I know for a fact that tile is broke right here because I broke it personally. There's a piece laying right there. So yeah, that big thing of scrubs there is where the valve stack is at, and I know the main is right here because that is, well, actually I don't know if that is a main, looking at what size that is that I pulled up. But it was completely full of dirt, so it's plugged. This hole has been here forever, and I borrowed a backhoe to come out here and dig it up to fix it. And I dug and dug and dug, and all of a sudden I hit it. I saw the black come up in the bucket, and within about 15 seconds, this hole was full of water like this. And it's been like that ever since. So I'm waiting for either a dry year, or I'm hoping when we pump that pump out, this will go down and I can finally get down in there and figure it out. That is the lift pump setup on this side. The pump went bad, that's why we quit using it. It's a bear to replace, and so that's why it never got replaced. Now, if I did this again, this is always my answer to everything, and it's the most expensive option you can do, but I want to abandon the tile on this field and lay a whole new system and run it into a above ground lift pump where the pump's on top of the ground, easy service, and then it'll just dump into that creek. And if I can, I want to do it without a pump completely. Eyeballing this field, it doesn't look like it falls that direction, so I don't see why you couldn't, but I guess when the time comes to actually lay tile, FlowX will help us get that figured out. We got the track bag on. I gotta run uptown and get some grease, and we'll pump all that in. So it's basically like a hydraulic cylinder in there, but instead of being full of oil, it's full of grease. There's a grease zerk, you pump it and it pushes the track out one end. So We gotta go get some, because all I have is expensive Conklin grease for bearings and stuff, and I don't really want to burn 3 or 4 tubes of that on that track tensioner. So run uptown, get some cheap grease, and we'll be back. We've been pumping the pump crock for about 30 minutes now, and it's gotten down to a certain level. That thing's like 12 feet deep. We did not realize it was that deep. It's down to a certain level though, to where the pump is not actually lowering the water level anymore. So that tells us that something is feeding into there. What it is, don't know yet. But we're hoping if we run that pump late and get it pumped down to a certain level and then get it going again tomorrow, we'll see a difference out here. I should mention too, we got the track back on. The grease fitting for the track tensioners wore out, and I cannot get grease to go into that thing to save my life. We had issues with it because before it came here, we helped put it on, and we had issues getting grease in, but we managed to get the grease gun in just the right position to have it take. Well, that new tensioner came with a new fitting. It just didn't have a Zerk on it. We couldn't find a Zerk at that point. I was going to try and track one down again, but now we've lost the new grease fitting. So I'm going to order a grease fitting with the Zerk already on it tonight when I get home, and I can double check the model number on the excavator and everything. And so that excavator is going to sit there for a few days at least before we get it. If I was a couple hundred feet over there, we'd have a beautiful sunset to look at. Let's take a look. Look at that. Ooh yeah, it's going to look better once it gets down farther, I bet. I thought I was going crazy earlier. I saw fish in here, and now I shined my light down in there earlier. You can see them all over there. That's pretty nuts. The lift pump's been vacant for so long that somehow fish have moved in. That's a big hole. We're gonna wrap this video up here. I'm just sitting here watching this pump. We may do a change of strategy tomorrow. We still have a manure booster pump up in the barn. We may look into see if we have everything up at the farm to drop a pipe down in here and pump like 6 or 8 inches out at a time. So stay tuned for that. That'll be tomorrow's endeavor probably, maybe not. I don't know. We'll talk to Dad about it. But the 3-inch pump is not keeping up with the tile dumping in, so I'd like to see the bottom tomorrow, but that might not happen with the 3-inch pump. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.